am Teresa with Art of Yoga, and today we're going to do a really energizing, uplifting practice. Just kind of get your blood going and just really get the idea of these uplifting moves that will open our heart and maybe bring a smile to your face. So it should be a real joyous, fun practice today. Not that all yoga isn't, but this one is particularly intended to get some energizing moves. So this would be a good class to do in the morning or even like a midday pick me up. Great time to do this sequence. All right, so you don't need any props today. Certainly if you want a blanket for savasana or your hands and knees, grab that. Otherwise, we're set with just using our mat and our body today. So we're going to start in child's pose, and then we'll move from there. So we'll start with kind of a very quick child's pose, just kind of find our breath and get some grounding, and then we're going to move it up. So you can start with toes touching, knees wide if you'd like. Relax the shoulders and just kind of think of being kind of long here. And then we'll take a fold forward and start by just sliding your hands out, forehead touches the mat. Let the arms be active. So we want the palms down, but we're reaching out and crawling the hands out and kind of wiggle into the pose. Make sure that as you're stretching long, that you're pressing your glutes down to your heels. Take a nice deep breath. And we'll let the heart kind of travel down toward the mat. So there's just kind of like letting the weight of the body in the torso come down to the mat as you still keep your arms engaged. And keep crawling those fingers out. Reach through the fingers. Spread the palms wide. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. And then as we do that next time, we're going to think of something incredibly joyous in your life, something that brings a smile to your face. Inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, let go of anything that's not serving you. And we'll do that again. So anything that brings you joy, could be the same thing, something different maybe. Inhale through the nose. And then anything that's not serving you, exhale through the mouth. And keep stretching as we take one more breath here. Press in the palms of your hand and lift up into hands and knees, tabletop. So get yourself situated so that the fingertips are spread wide, knees are right under hips, and just kind of wiggle around a little bit, lengthen here. So before we do anything, we want to kind of rotate the elbow creases forward, lengthen in the back, and kind of pull up in the belly. So now we're getting this stability. This is a really stable pose. Uncurl the ankles, press the tops of the feet in the mat. So you've got this four-pronged balance in your body. And just kind of feel that right hand, right leg, left leg, and see how that feels and where the weight is in your body. So we're going to take a moment here to just think of something that brings stability to your life, something that keeps you grounded and that you're so even that nothing can rock over this table, nice and strong. And then we're going to move through some cat-cows. And so while you're moving through cat-cows, think of flexibility. So we're literally coming into some flexibility in the spine, but think kind of figuratively of what things are flexible in your life that bring that movement and that joy as we move through cat-cow. Drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, press up into cat, and really arch the back. So without stability, of course, we get kind of rocked over a lot. Keep going with your cat-cow while I'm talking. But without flexibility, we also lose that idea of when the wind comes, how do we move? What do we do? There's always going to be windy times and stormy times. And even times that don't seem tumultuous, like really joyful times, can still bring tumult to our lives. One more cat-cow. So we want to be able to have the flexibility when we need it and the stability when we need that. And then release and come back into your tabletop. So now we're going to curl our toes under. And we're going to move through this kind of stretching back so we can stretch through our toes and our ankles like you're coming into a child's pose, but you're not going to come all the way back. So you're just going to stretch. Come right back up. 2 more like that. Stretch. Press back in those toes. So really push some weight into the toes and the balls of the feet. And 1 more. Press it back. And then release. So uncurl. And then we're just going to take a little pounding of our feet. So if you got somebody that you need to wake up, you can wake them up now. Good. And then curl the toes again, just like we did. But this time we're going to go right up into a downward facing dog. So come on up into your dog. And then settle the feet where they feel comfortable. Press back and lengthen. So the same thing here with our heart. This, we're going to let it come a little closer to the mat. So this is a nice grounding pose. So similar in child's pose where we're really finding some grounding. So most of our poses so far have been grounding. Start to bend your knees and wiggle around. So we have to have that base before we move into a little more uplifting, challenging poses. And then release and come on back to your dog and really press it back here now. Okay, we're going to move a little bit more now, get a little bit of energy going. So you're going to pick up your right foot, bend the knee, and draw it toward the nose. Just kind of hold there and see if you can hover and hold. Find the stability now in the hands. So we've taken 1 leg off the mat, so now we're 3-legged, so it's a little more work here to hold. And then release. We'll do the same thing other side. So as you're doing this, notice how the weight shifts and where you need to work. So we're working the core, pull the belly in, and release it down. Press back again through the hips, through the heels of the hands, lift up nice and tall. Then we're going to work with the legs a little bit more and take the right leg up to 3-legged dog and reach it up and stretch it. Lower it back down. Left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Reach and stretch and bend it back down. Now as I lift my leg, I'm kind of bending my knee. You can do a straight leg too, that kind of just for room in my space here right now. So we're going to go side to side a couple more times. Lift and lower. And then the last one, lift and lower, and second side, lift and lower. And then hold in your dog, press back. Now this one, see if you can get the heels a little bit closer. You don't have to touch, but just see what happens if you straighten your legs more and put more energy through the hips. Right leg comes up, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee. This time we're going to come all the way through to lunge. Then lower the back knee down. Uncurl the toe and rise all the way up into your anjaneyasana. Now this one's a nice uplifting pose. You want to be sure though that the knee is over the ankle, the chest lifts, the gaze is up. And let's get this great big reach here. Then we're going to bring the hands to heart center and take a twist. So I have my right knee forward, so I'm going to twist over my right knee and press in, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Gaze up to the ceiling. And keep that twisting, really strong twist, really pressing in. 1 more breath. And then with control, release. Arms up to the ceiling. Bring your arms around behind you. Interlace the fingers and take a little back bend here. Lifting up to the sky, bringing the chest open. And release the arms up. Exhale, float it down. Curl your toes. Lift through your lunge. Step it back, 3-legged dog. Lift it up. Lower your leg down. Take a breath and we'll go right to the other side. Left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, step it through to lunge. Take a tiny pause. Knee down to the mat, uncurl the toes. Rise up into your anjaneyasana. Arms lift up to the sky, great big reach. Nice joyous lift up to the sky. Bringing to mind that joyous thought that you had at the beginning. Palms come together and we'll take our twist. Twisting now to the left. Elbow is touching and we're going to kind of press up here. Chest lifts. Gaze up to the ceiling. And shoulders open nice and tall. And just really press and lift. One more breath. Release up. Whoop. Arms up. Lose your balance. Just come on back up. Bring your hands behind. Interlace the fingers. So I don't edit my videos because I like to just practice the way I practice, right? I mean, none of us are perfect. You're going to have sequences where something funny happens, and that's okay. That's our practice. Arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, float down to the mat. Curl the back toe, lift up through your lunge. Take it back, three-legged dog. Extend it back and lower back down. Press the hips up, and then we're going to come right to hands and knees again and get a little work going here. So press the floor away. Find your strong stability, tabletop, belly up and in. We're going to take the right knee. You're going to bring it towards your nose and hover. Go back straight. Again, knee to nose. Back straight. Knee to nose. Back straight. Hold here. Bring your opposite arm out. Bend your knee. Reach around and lift. So this nice big lift. Hold. Now what we're going to do is see if we can keep that foot in the same spot. So it's going to require our body to really work hard to keep it there. Release the arm out front and lower the arm down. Take a breath. Second side. Knee comes in and back out straight. Knee rounds in. Back straight. Knee in and out. Opposite arm out. Reach. Bend your knee and reach around for your tiger tail. Lift it up. Okay, so hold here. Keep that foot lifted. Don't let it snap. Release the arm. Reach it out. Keep lifting that leg. Lower down to the mat. Take a little wiggle side to side. Right back into your downward facing dog. Lift it up. And then this time, really, really lengthen in that back. So with this nice, strong V shape. Right leg, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, hover, step all the way through to lunge. Okay, take a little pause. Make sure that you're set up so you have stability when we rise. Press in the foot, lift up. Anjaneyasana. Nope, high crescent. Anjani is when you're down low. This is high crescent. Okay, arms lift up, chest lifts. Great big lift up to the sky. One more breath. Hands come down to heart center. We're going to take a little prep here for humble warrior. So we're going to take a lean forward. Get that weight. So notice how the weight shift is, right? Do we lose stability? Do you gain stability here? What works for you? Lift it up. Arms up to the ceiling. Adding on a twist to the bent knee. Arms out. Sink it in and press and really reach to those fingers. Find that stability in the front foot. Inhale, lift it up. We're going to come to warrior two. Pivot around. Get your warrior two. Sink it in and hold here. So check your arms that they're nice and level, reaching out, and that you're lifting tall through the torso. So there's a lot of stability in this pose, but there's a lot of work too. Sink it in. Flip your front palm up. Take it into reverse warrior. So as you're doing this strong, 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 these mighty warrior poses, a lot of strength, a lot of stability. Come forward, extended side angle. Bend the elbow, reach. And if you'd like, you can bring the arm down here and hold for one more breath. And we're going to swing it up and come right into our pivot, into our high lunge again. Reach it up way high. Exhale, float it down. Three-legged dog, step it back and lower down to the mat. Take a nice deep breath. If you're getting a little sweaty like me, you need an extra breath, take it. Left leg, three-legged dog. And step it forward to lunge. Take a little pause here. And we'll rise all the way up. Bring it up to the ceiling and reach. Bring the hands to heart center. Take a little lean forward. Rise back up. Arms to the ceiling. Here goes our twist. Open it up. Arms reach out. So sink it in and really reach those arms. Keep that twist going. You should be able to see your back fingers. Peek it back. Good. Inhale, bring it up. Come back into warrior two. Sink it down. Reverse warrior. Arm lifts. Take it back. Extended side angle. Come forward. And you can have the elbow bent or your arm lifts up. Reaching up to the sky. And release. Come on back. We're going to pivot right around into our high lunge. Reach it up, gaze up. Exhale, float to the mat. Warrior extended. We're going to come up into our three-legged dog. Sorry about that. Words babbling around here. Okay, lift it up and reach and lower down. All right, take an extra breath here. Starting to work up some heat. We want to keep that heat, keep that energy going. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. This time we're going to open up the hips, bend the knee, stack the hips. So you can take that as high as you like, but keep squared to the front. Don't take twist into the torso. Keep the torso squared. Untwist your leg, extend, bend the knee, step it through to lunge. This time we're going to come up into warrior one. So bring that back foot on the mat and rise up, warrior one. Reach it up, gaze up. Good, arms come down around, interlace the fingers. So we're gonna open the chest here, shoulder blades come together, strong core. This back leg, don't let that knee sink down, lift it and straighten it. Front leg, nice and strong. We're working our quads a lot here. We're gonna take a bow. You could come here, you could come to where your shoulder touches the top of the thigh, or you can take it bow deeper between. And then the arms come up to the ceiling and breathe. One more deep breath. We'll start to rise. Release the arms. Take them up to the ceiling. So back in our warrior one, we're going to sink in here. Now we want to interlace our fingers here and take it so that we're really lifting and extending. Chest is forward, belly in. We're going to continue to take a little deeper back bend. Lean it back. Good. And now coming out of this, we're going to keep our hands up and we're going to fold down and we're going to swipe the finger around to the floor and up. Warrior two. Okay, gaze up. Now keep sinking in here and find your warrior two legs and then release the arms. We're going to come reverse. One deep breath. Extend. One deep breath. Rise up. Take a pivot around. Lift that back heel. Exhale, float down. And take it into your three-legged dog. Lower to the mat. Take a nice deep breath. Press back, hips up to the ceiling. Right leg lifts, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Your other leg. Bend the knee, open the hips. Lift it up. Take a nice deep breath. Rotate back. Extend. Knee bend. Step it through to your lunge. Pivot that back foot down. Rise up, warrior one. Take a moment to get nice and strong here. Lifting, gaze forward, hips forward. Circle the arms around behind you. So we want this kind of pressing forward the chest. The shoulders draw back, but they're relaxed. Belly's in. Do a lot of work with the core here. Take a bow. Continue down as far as you like. Arms to the ceiling. So we have a lot of stability in our legs in this pose. We're opening the chest. You should feel that strength in our legs holding us up. Find something that is strong in your life and see what you depend on, what works for you. And just kind of keep that in mind sometimes when we're going in these strong poses. Come on up. Release. Up to the sky. Take it into your warrior two and reverse. Right into extended side angle. Take it back up through warrior two, around to high crescent. Exhale down to the mat. Step it back, three-legged dog, lower down. We're going to take a tiny break. So this is the option. Stay in your dog and take 3 deep breaths. If you need an extra little break, come into child's pose. So as you're breathing, again, find that joy, the grounding,
What gives you balance? What gives you flexibility? Coming back to grounding. One more breath. Good. So on this one, we're going to take right leg, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Bring that leg around, but keep the knee bent. Bring it forward, and this time we're going to come around in a little bit of a twist, knee to elbow. So like you're coming into pigeon pose, but we're not going to land. Leg back. Knee to opposite elbow, so you go across to the left. Knee back. One more time each side, knee to right elbow, but take that little twist of the leg and back. Knee to left elbow and back. Three-legged dog. Lower down. Take a nice deep breath. Second side. Left leg lifts. Three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Bring that leg back around. Knee comes in, and you're going to kind of twist around to the left, and the foot comes over to the right, like you're coming to pigeon, but you're not going to land. Back up. Knee to the right elbow, little twist. Back up. One more time through. Knee to left elbow, foot to the side. Back up. Knee to right elbow, and back up. Leg down. Three-legged dog. Two dog, nice deep breath. Good, we don't want to lose that energy, but if you need to take child's pose, take child's pose. Otherwise, we'll take one more breath here in our dog. And we'll come through one low vinyasa. Coming through plank, lowering down to the mat, or chaturanga. Uncurl the toes, cobra or up dog, and then make your way to downward facing dog. One more breath, get that grounding. Either step or hop forward, forward fold. Take a breath here. Come up halfway. Fold again. Hold, bring your hands behind you. Fold a little deeper, kind of pull yourself in here. One more breath. Come up halfway. Fold again. So we're going to take kind of a standing splits. Now you could just lift your right leg so it comes straight behind, more into a warrior three. Or you can take a deeper bow. And then set it back down. Make sure your feet are kind of parallel. We'll come the second side. Left leg lifts. Maybe take it into a deeper bow. Set it down. Going to rise all the way up this time. Arms lift up. Hands interlace. Take a little back bend. Hands come through heart center. And down to your side Tadasana. We're going to take a little kind of a standing, folding flow here. So I just move some kind of center in my mat. You can be wherever you want. Standing up nice and tall. Inhale, bring the arms up. Interlace the fingers. Take a little tiny back bend. Then we're going to stand up nice and tall. We're just going to hinge. Arms are going to come out. You're going to be parallel to the mat. Inhale, come up. Release the arms behind you. Interlace the fingers. Open up in the chest. Take a bow halfway. Continue down and fold. Inhale, release. Come on up. Arms reach up to the ceiling. Hands come down to heart center and down to Tadasana. All right, so we're just getting this nice built up strong energy in this nice tall stance. We're going to do that one more time. Standing in our Tadasana, inhale, bring arms up. Interlace the hands, take a back bend, reach. Come to the top. Arms down behind you. Interlace the fingers. Shoulder blades draw together. Chest opens. Take a little fold. Inhale, come up. And release the arms up to the ceiling. Palms meet, hands to heart center, and down to your side Tadasana. All right, take a nice deep breath. As we move on, we're going to do some chair poses here, so you can stay right where you're at. Pull the belly in and let the shoulder blades come back. So as you come into chair, really want to use our belly a lot. We want that low back to kind of be open. We don't want this, and we don't want this. So we want this long back And we're going to use our hip creases, use our quads, but also think of inner thighs working a little bit too. So I'm going to come a little closer. If you want, you can have toes touching. I like a little space. It feels just more comfortable for my body. And you can start with hands at heart center, or you can lift them up to the ceiling. Have a seat, press back, nice and strong. We're going to hold for one breath. Then we're going to sweep the arms and come up. And we're going to move through that with our breath. Take an inhale as you come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, rise. And once more down. Sweep the arms and come up. All right, take a pause here. Now we're going to have hands at heart center. So nice and strong. We're going to twist. And when you twist, you don't want to do this. You want to be sure that you're keeping nice and in line. So the knees stay in line. The legs stay in line. We don't want this coming forward because then we're going to kind of bring in this weird thing in our joint, in our hips here, in our pelvis. So really watch that. Hands at heart center, nice and tall. You're going to bend the knees, come down. And then check your alignment, knees together. Sit way back, nice and strong. Take one deep breath. Exhale as you twist to the left and either hook the elbow here, check your alignment, or if you want to take it deeper, then you got to glide that arm over and open up your wings. But you got to be sure that you bring that arm over. Take a nice deep breath. Release to center. Second side twist. Either hook the elbow, you can hold it right there, or you can bring the arms up. Take one more deep breath. Come on back to center and rise up. Arms down. Whew. Take a nice deep breath. All right, I'm going to turn and face you. You can stay exactly where you're at if you'd like. Pull the belly up and in. Let the shoulders relax. And we're going to come into a one-legged chair. So what this is going to do is take that rotation that we did as we were down in our dog pose. It's also going to bring in balance, and so we're going to really use our core. Really strong here. So now we're coming to just balancing on one limb. So it's really going to take this idea of strength and flexibility and bring it all together. Okay, so it should be fun too. I like to start with hands at heart center so I can get my stability first. Press into your left foot, lift the right leg up and bring it across. Press the knee away. And then have a seat here. Come on down and hold. So we're not going to touch elbows. We're just going to be a nice strong little chair, and we're going to add on here by releasing the hands and bringing them behind you. Interlace the fingers. See if you can take a little bit of a bow with our hands bound. Come up and release the hands. Take your time, find your steadiness. Then we're going to add a little twist. We're going to twist to the left, and now we're going to see if we can touch elbow to the foot. Come back to center. Rise, release, shake your legs out. So if you did that and you didn't quite get there, you fell over, feel free to repeat it. You can always stop and do it again. So it takes practice, and some days balance comes with ease, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, standing up nice and tall, second side. Right foot is going to be our weight in the ground now and our stability. Hands to heart center. Lift that left leg, take the ankle across the knee, have a seat, and if you're not real stable, just kind of play with it, wiggle it around, see what you can find. Have a seat, hold. Good. Okay, here's our add-on. Release the hands, hands behind your back. A little bit of a fold if you want. Take it as deep as you want, or stay tall. Release the hands. Take a twist to the right. Maybe touch elbow to foot. If you're not there, like with me, I'm just kind of falling out on this side. I have a little bit of a foot issue, so balance on my right's a little harder, so I have to work at it, right? I have to play. I have to come in and come out. Come on back to center. Whoop, rise up and release. Shake everything out. So once again, like if you want to repeat a side, go ahead and repeat it.
Or back off, go a little slower. Take it just down into the chair pose and just do that a few times. Just come in and out of your chair pose. And then if you want to take the interlace and the twist, if you want to add on even more, you can come into a squat where you sit on your heel. So play with it. All right, let's take our Tadasana stance and close your eyes. In your Tadasana, feel the grounding of your feet. Feel this little bit of flexibility in the knees. There's a slight bend in the knees. Feel this lifting through the torso. Feel this open chest, open heart, palms forward, shoulders relax. Little tuck of the chin, crown of the head lifts. Come back for a moment to what brings you joy. What brings you stability in your life? What grounds you? What is flexible? What is that flexibility piece? Where does that fit in as well? Take one more deep breath. Okay, with your eyes closed, bring hands to heart center. So we're going to take this now with a little bit of work with our eyes closed. See how that feels. So come into chair pose. Come back up. You're going to take the left leg, keep it in the ground, lift the right heel. If you want to continue with a balance, you could lift that foot up just for a breath. See how that feels? Lower it down. Keeping the eyes closed still, no cheating. Okay, second side, lift the knee. Maybe lift the foot up, see how that feels. If you're kind of leaning to one side, that's okay. Lower down. Okay, still with eyes closed, we're going to come into chair pose. Release the hands down and take a forward fold. Of course, you can open the eyes if you want, but if you can keep them closed for a breath, that's awesome. Okay, come up halfway. Fold once more. And rise all the way up. You can bring your arms with you if you like overhead. Palms come together and heart center and open the eyes. Hands down, Tadasana. Good. Hopefully that's a good energizing flow. So we're going to come down to the mat now with a little quick vinyasa. If that's not preferable, you can just have a seat. All right, standing tall in Tadasana. Take a breath. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Nice and flexible. Inhale, come up nice and long, straight back. Exhale, fold. You can take a hop if you want to plank. Lower down, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Take it into up dog or cobra. And take it into downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath. And we want to continue a little stretch here. We're going to take that right leg up, three-legged dog, and just kind of release it there. If you want to bend it and open it up, feel free to. But just kind of loosey-goosey, whatever your body feels like doing. Lower it down. Left leg. Open it up, wiggle it out. Lower it down. Take it forward to plank. And take it down to the knees. Uncurl the toes. And coming into child's pose. So keep the knees together on this one. And let your arms come around to your side. So now we find this really nice grounding. And release. Take one more deep breath. And come up to knees, have a seat, and bring your legs around in front of you. Okay, from here, we're going to add some twists and a little bit of openness in the legs. So I like to sit up nice and tall with my right leg out, and I'm going to scooch in the heel of my left foot. So some of you might be able to tuck all the way back so that you're almost touching. Others of you will need to leave the leg out. So it just depends on our anatomy, our belly, our hips, all kinds of things. A lot of people have to end up doing this because of the hip flexor. Now if that's you, then bring your foot out a little farther and just kind of find that perfect balance where you can keep this foot in, and when we come into a twist that this knee is going to stay where it's at. All right, lengthening in that right leg. Sit up nice and tall. Hug your knee in, let the shoulders relax. So we want this tallness. Then we're just gonna turn to the left to bring the left arm behind you. Okay, this might be where you stay, keeping that leg in with your arm. If you want to release the arm, you can either bring the elbow over. Some people like a long arm. Either way that you'd like to do this. There's so many variations of poses. Take your twist a little deeper. So you get to choose always what those variations are. Make them work for you, for your body, where you're at today. Always let your yoga practice meet you, not you meeting the yoga practice. So you come in, see what works, play with the different options. Good, and then we're gonna release. So as you release, we're gonna take that left hand and we're gonna reach it across to the outside of the right leg, or maybe you can reach for a toe, and then your right hand is just gonna come behind. You're gonna kind of turn to the right here a little bit. Excellent. Release, come up. We're going to drop the left knee down, have the sole of the foot into the inner thigh. I'm going to scooch around if you need a little more room. Sit up tall. We're going to turn toward that extended leg and take a fold. Knee to nose, nose to knee, toward that direction. Doesn't mean you touch. You might be here. That's totally fine. But just think of nose is coming down toward the knee so that that's where you're leaning for. And if you're able to come all the way down, come all the way down, grab the foot. So there's a soft flex here. We're not flexing so much that we're bulging out our lower leg muscles. We're just kind of pressing the heel into the mat and lengthening through the leg. Go ahead and come on up. Take both legs long. We'll switch. Right knee in. Sit up nice and tall. So again, find that perfect spot for that leg to be, for that foot to be. Hug it up, stay tall. Left hand hugs around the right knee, twist to the right. Left hand is hugging or release, elbow to knee, and then your right hand is holding you here. Nice and tall, nice deep breaths. Settle into the pose. We'll release it around to center. Take a lean across, reaching for the outer edge of the shin or the foot as your other hand comes behind. Just take kind of this counter twist and really lengthen the spine out. Keep hugging that right knee in and release. Take both legs long. We're going to sit up nice and tall in our staff pose and release. All right, come on down to your backs. We're going to do just a couple poses here in our backs and then we'll take our savasana. So with the back down, knees bent, feet on the mat, we're going to press our feet in. We're going to just take some rolling bridges with hands on the sides, just that flexibility in the spine. So think of one vertebra at a time. Pull the belly in and take a pelvic curl. Roll it up and then roll it back down. I'm going to do that 2 more. Roll it up. Roll down. Try and do 1 vertebra at a time. Once more, curl. And then come back to your grounding. Okay, pull the belly in as you draw the knees into the chest. Toes touch, knees come out wide. And draw the knees together. So we're going to take our legs up to the ceiling just for a couple breaths. Lengthen through that leg, the legs. And then keep the legs straight. You're going to lower the right leg down. If you need to bend it, bend it. Hang on to the back of the left thigh and just give it a little stretch as much as feels comfortable. You decide. You might want a tiny bit. If you're flexible and it feels okay to do more, do more. Release your hands from your leg, both legs up. And switch. Left leg down, right leg up, hands behind. Give it a little tug. Keep the leg up there, release the hands, both legs up to the ceiling. Get this nice big length. And then we'll start to draw the legs over. If you want to come all the way to plow, come all the way to plow.
And hold it here. If you're lucky enough to have touched a wall like I am, you get this nice grounding. Take 2 more breaths. Come out whenever you're ready. Legs up. And bend the knees and lower down. Okay, coming into Shavasana, there's a couple options. You could have legs out, arms out. If you're by a wall and you want to do legs up the wall, you can do that. If you want to do a Baddha Konasana, recline with the soles of feet together, knees out, that's a nice pose too. Here's another one, knees up, feet walk out, knees fall in. So that kind of gets the low back on the mat. So kind of pick what works for you. It doesn't have to be corpse pose. Corpse pose is nice and is kind of our generic ending to any yoga class. And the reason why is it reminds us that we have this little death all the time, but we rebirth, right? We re-energize. So as you're setting up into your Shavasana, find what works, find that grounding. And if it's corpse pose, that's fine. If it's not, that's okay. We come to this place where we would like to allow the breath, body, and mind to kind of unravel a little bit. So sometimes it gets so tightly wound together. We get things going in our head that affect our body, things going in our body that affect our head. So we want to let those things kind of fall away from one another. They're still there, they're still tethered, they're still connected, but they're not so wound tightly. And I'll talk you through a little bit of breath, and then I'll come up, and you can stay as long as you want in your Shavasana. If you want to pause at any point and then meet me at the end, you're more than welcome to. So be sure wherever you're at that you're tucking your chin so that your neck is long. Allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. So you keep the lips touching, the mouth is closed, but a little bit of slackness in the jaw. And think of the ears falling down closer to the ground so that there's this widening in your face. So there's softening. Think of shoulders melting into the mat. Upper back, low back, pelvis. And then anywhere in your lower body that's touching the mat, as well as the limbs. Find your breath. And just kind of notice it. No need to change anything other than this idea of letting go. Coming back into what is happening right at this moment with your breath. Take a moment to reflect on what brings you joy, what uplifts you, what grounds you, where you can bring flexibility into your life. And how all those things are constantly in play, intertwining, helping each other out. Thinking of a toddler that's learning to walk. And they toddle, right? They toddle, and you think that little child is going to fall, and then they rebalance and recenter and reground. And that's what we do every day, is we're always trying to find our balance so that we can take one step forward and then another. Continue our journey with grace and ease, joy, love, and kindness. Take a few more breaths. And whenever you're ready, you can roll to one side and pause there. And if you'd like, you can make a little pillow with your hands or your arm. Coming back into this fetal pose is kind of rebirth. That again, go through every minute. We don't always think about that, but each breath brings renewal into our bodies. And we kind of take bigger chunks of time to find that renewal. So our yoga practice is helpful because it gives us that hour or 45 minutes, whatever long your practice is. Then pressing yourself to seated when you're ready, letting the shoulders relax, neck long.
gaze forward. Release the hands to heart center. Little tuck of the chin. Once again, just take a few moments here to reflect on your practice. Just coming back, so if we take this time to practice on the mat, then we can take it off the mat and it'll be there when we need it. And you can recollect that lovely movement in the body, the joy, the stability, and the flexibility. Thank you for